Just now, kicking it on. Hey, guys. I'm James Hake of the Hake Report with some special guests.
I don't hear anything in my headset.
Wait.
Oh, plug it in.
It is plugged in.
Oh.
She plugged.
Oh, it's probably because it's just quiet.
Oh.
Is that better?
No. Let's see.
Better,
Yeah.
better, better,
Yeah,
better?
that's better.
Okay. Too loud?
I'm Jesse, by the way,
This is Jesse Lee Peterson.
and that's James Hayes. And I have a surprise for you. And so I tried to do it on my show, but we absolutely ran out of time. I want you to guess who this is. Who is this?
I don't know.
Joel, are you able to guess? Who is it?
Zoom in on.
My name is Jean-Pierre Claude. I'm from Montreal, Canada. I am the new producer for Jesse. I'm taking over from the last producer.
Not bad.
Are you able to guess who it is?
It's hard to tell.
That's amazing.
Is that Nick?
Who's Nick?
Nico.
Were you surprised? Nick shaved his beard off, folks. I walked into the office this morning. I'm like, who is that? And he was walking really fast, and I just saw a glimpse of his face. I thought it was a white guy. What did you think when you saw him?
Guy? Wow.
I thought, yeah, he looked. You know what? I think he reminded me of how he looked when he first started working with Kelly
Oh yeah.
Oh,
as
yeah.
intern, because I didn't really recognize him after that.
Oh yeah.
I was like, man, he doesn't.
I pretty much came in bearded up after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look younger and different.
Do I still look fat?
Do you still look fat? No, your face doesn't look as fat. It doesn't look fat. Oh, man, I
It looks
forgot about
cleaner. Yeah, it
He
looks
look
clean.
What was your impression when you saw him this morning?
I liked it.
Oh, yeah.
It looks clean and fresh. I like it.
Fresh.
I like it.
Heck yeah, fresh.
Were you surprised when you saw him?
I was surprised. I was shocked. I was like, oh, where'd the beard go?
Yeah.
Did you go, hola? Mamma
He
mia.
definitely looks different.
So,
I
how
was
do you look?
cavemaning there for a good 3 months and a half.
So, for those who don't know, Nick is my producer. I don't know if he's ever been on James' show, but he's my producer. And he had a beard, like a Ola Abba beard. for a
Maharba.
while. And I used to call him, what's the name of that guy? The Ula Abba guy that killed
Bin Laden.
Bin Laden for a while. And so,
Bismillah.
what is it like not having a beard?
I feel the wind. I feel aerodynamic. I feel like I walk faster. I want to think. No kidding.
And how do you look to yourself when you see yourself in the mirror?
I have less chin than I remember. I had less chin than I remember. I thought I had more chin. Though. I was waiting to reveal like a big old manly chin, and I was like, "Oh wow, that's way much less than I thought." But whatever.
I can think of many words for that chin. Manly is not one.
Let's get it back. Let's grow that beard back.
But no, the chin is fine.
Yeah, I'm
I
joking.
didn't think
I'm
about
playing.
chin. But I just want you to see Nick, my producer.
Just
We couldn't put it off.
We see him.
What did you think when you saw him?
It was kind of shocking. But I tried to pretend like I took it in stride.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I saw your double take.
I saw this person go walking by me, by my desk really fast.
Yeah.
And then I kind of looked over and then looked away and I looked back. I'm like, who is that? Who is that white boy?
Nick does have like an ambiguous type look. So
Ambiguous.
with the beard, he looks different. Without the beard, I wonder
Yeah.
if he cut his hair bald, what he look like.
Yeah, if now if I mess around with this, then I really start changing it up. I can commit crimes in all sorts of states.
Well, no, don't cut your hair
I'm
short.
joking,
White
Jesse.
people are under attack already.
Yeah, I'm just joking, Jesse.
But listen, how you spell ambiguous?
I learned that word
Spell
from
it.
Nick.
spell it.
How you spell it for us?
I can pronounce it.
And you learned it from Nick.
He says it all the time.
He ambiguous.
You should have told him how to spell it. Did you know he was going to use it?
No.
All right, here's the Hake report.
All right.
I just wanted you to see Nick report. Here's James.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake report. The Hake report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake report. The Hake report. La la la.
Hey, guys.
Oh, it's the Hake report. The Hake report. La la la. Oh, it's la.
So, as you all know, President Trump, if you were watching the Jesse Lee Peterson show, President Trump spoke from the White House, I think, talking about we need red flag laws and we need to condemn and defeat white supremacy. But, he's wrong about some of this stuff that he's said, technically, but don't turn on him. It's just a disagreement, and these are just words. We know how he is. We know how he was. This should not be a surprise to anybody. He was a New York liberal. He was pro-gun control at one point. He was pro-abortion at one point. And I suggest that you watch how this pans out. Seems like it might be a high probability that he will be much more reasonable than this came off. Because I know a lot of you are like, feel betrayed. Don't take it as a betrayal. He hasn't betrayed you, but hopefully he doesn't do anything wrong. As much as some people like Ronald Reagan, I know a lot of you guys don't like Ronald Reagan, but some of you guys do like Ronald Reagan. And he did some things that kind of left us hanging too, really badly. But he was also good in some ways. I think I was a little kid. I didn't pay too close of attention. But President Trump, don't turn on him. Keep voting for him because he's actually still the best man for the job. So, but I would like to allow you guys to get it off your chest about it. And I will talk a little bit later, but I want to get to calls first about mental illness, this thing about mental illness and guns, gun rights, and red flag laws. One of the guys in the chat reminded me and others about a man actually getting killed in a struggle over cops showing up to take his gun away, enforcing a red flag law in Maryland just last year, November. So I have a report on that just to remind you guys and to address the joy that you see amongst the liberals and the POCs when whites do it too, type of thing. When the whites do this mass shooting thing. All right, but let me get to some calls. I'm not sure what Earl wants to talk about, but that's nice to see he's called. I will be getting to Earl from Michigan. But first, let me get to Daniel out of North Carolina, first-time caller. Daniel, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing fine, thank you.
I was calling because it's the first time I actually just checked you guys out. I saw that you been talking. I just heard you talking about the gun shooting. A lot of people are blaming Trump for the shooting, which I find interesting because when we had mass shootings in the past, we've never blamed the president
Yeah.
For previous shootings. We usually call this a tragedy or an upsetting situation, but we've had several instances in history that have happened. I mean, we had the World Trade bombings. We've had several bombings. We never blamed Bill Clinton. We've had several bombings that happened to Bush and we've had a lot of shootings that none of these shootings that happened under Obama, we never blamed Obama, but we blamed Trump, which I find it very interesting. And it's very interesting that the media actually just sprays it out like that. And from what I was hearing, a lot of it seems that the Democrats love to feed off of this to push their agendas. Which I actually own a gun, so I don't like the fact that they would actually push more restrictions on gun laws. I don't want to turn into Australia or something when we get stabbed up and stuff just walking down the street.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, crime went up, I believe, in England after they had the gun ban. Crime went up, violence went up. I mean, it's not just the fact that they don't have guns. They also have major demographic change with Muslims, gang members, committing crimes just brazenly. And
what I find interesting, the biggest interesting thing about these gun laws is that they've already done the statistics on how many guns are probably circulating in the country.
Yeah.
The only guns they seem to be worried about is the ones that are legal. So,
right.
But there's a lot of illegal guns. So now we're going to have, I'm going to use a better term. I think we have a lot of criminals. I was going to say something else. There are like criminals running into people's houses, going to be running into people's houses, and they know they don't have weapons to protect themselves.
Right.
And there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it. You're just going to get messed up or killed, and they're going to talk about it for a second, and then they're going to move on to the next thing, and they're going to say, well, those guys went to jail, They went to jail. I mean, but the guns are still going to be out here. You know.
Yeah,
A lot of times-
I think I saw news reports over the recent years, in Detroit or somewhere. They were encouraging homeowners to arm up and, defend themselves, and they successfully did. And some home invaders were killed in that, and it's a nice deterrent, knowing a homeowner is going to be armed. And
I think that's an excellent thing.
yeah.
I find it also interesting that the two things. One, I listened to one of your co-hosts before you, but I also find it interesting that a lot of rural areas or poor areas, they're more crime going on in those areas, but they're more for no guns. And it's like, I understand their mindset is like, well, guns equal bad, but if you have a gun in your house, less crime will happen at your house.
Yeah.
Because that's not you. I mean, you're not a criminal because you have a gun. You're a criminal because you're a criminal, and that's what people need to take that out of their mind.
Right.
And I like that you're talking about mental illness, because that's an overall thing. We have a lot of mental illness going on in this country right now. We're not addressing, and we're actually creating more mental illnesses that we're going to be dealing with in the future.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to have an uptake on death as far as that is concerned, if we continue to go this route and not address mental illness. I think you're very right about that.
Well, to me, it's not just mental illness. It's like a rise in anger and a rise in a criminal mindset or a suicidal mindset, a rise in weakness, because people aren't able to deal with life of all races. And, white suicide rates are skyrocketing.
Out the roof.
Yeah.
It's off the roof. Matter of fact, white people are dying at an alarming rate. Even and population is not increasing. Right. Because white males are not really. We're dealing with like having children at a rate that other minorities are. Right. So that's becoming a big problem. And then we're not even counting the fact that then you have the ones that might go and become, part of the LGBT crew. So
right.
That happens, then it's over. Like they're no longer going to be a part of the group. They're not participating in populating the earth anymore, most likely.
Yeah, they're encouraging that stuff. They're encouraging the LGBTQ stuff. But I like, how they talk about, we need gun control because we can't change people's hearts. But Jesse is proof, and I think Trump is too, that people's hearts can change and improve, because people can overcome the anger and the mental illness and whatever else is afflicting them. They can, they can create a family, go from being a total loser to creating a family, creating a business, and becoming winners in life. And the Democrats have no faith. And many of the rhinos have no faith, so they want to bring in these laws to affect the guns when they don't want to address the deeper issue, which is quite possible to address, but they just don't have any faith in God, I guess.
I think the Democratic Party has given up on God altogether. I mean, they'll accept everything but God as far as Christianity is involved in any kind of fashion. I mean, we've taken it out of churches. We've taken it. We're declining it. They were trying to take it off our money. I mean. And God, we trust. They don't even want it on the money. So I mean, as far as that is concerned, yeah. And as far as mental illness, like as far as the anger and stuff that people have, the anger that they're saying, a lot of people are saying that because Trump is a very he's a different type of president than any other president we've had in a very long time. He kind of states things the way they are in a more brass way, in a like sometimes I just rip the Band-Aid off type mentality. And people get offended by that, and they think that's inciting racism and inciting hatred, and that's far from the difference. If you actually go and look at I think Ellis Omar, I can never say her name right.
Oh yeah, Ilhan Omar. Yep.
Yeah. If you look at her, or you look at some of these other Democrats, they're talking about go do this to these white people, or go, and especially they're focusing on white people. I don't like
they hate
that
them.
because,
I said they hate the white people. It's true.
Right, and it's
Yep.
it's ridiculous.
They're scapegoating.
Because, I mean, you got to respect I mean, regardless of what happened in the past, you got to respect what they made happen up to this point. We have,
Yep.
I mean, there's plenty of countries, plenty of places in this world where they've been taken over by other places because those people were too weak to handle it, and that's just history. History does that all the time. We don't talk about how the Chinese conquered plenty of places.
Right.
We don't ridicule the Chinese for doing that.
Exactly.
We don't ridicule. We don't ridicule when other countries. Shoot, we could go all the way back to the beginning.
I know.
A lot of times there's been wars for all kinds of things. There's been battles and fighting over all kinds of things, and well, we can't trip over that. But
I know, man.
It's a big thing.
I appreciate it, Daniel. You're so right. Take care, man. I'll talk to you again.
You too.
Call again. All right, man. He made a good point because Obama, when Trump being blamed for these mass shootings. Remember when with Obama supported Black Lives Matter, and then the whole Black Lives Matter narrative, which was put forth by the media and by Obama and Al Sharpton, who went to the White House multiple times, and Black Lives Matter went to the White House multiple times, and all these radicals did. And then, come to find out, former Nation of Islam member goes and kills multiple cops, a cop massacre, multiple cop massacres actually, one in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and one in Dallas, Texas, by two different black radicals. And I don't remember Obama being really blamed for that by the liberal media. But they want, or even actually by the Republicans. The Republicans are too cowardly to tell the truth. But that was legitimately Obama's, contributing to that, validating the lie that cops were targeting blacks. Let me get to Sal quickly from Kentucky, and then I will get to Earl and all the rest of you guys. Sal, how are you?
Hey, all right. How are you, James?
Fine.
I wanted to make my contribution to Male History Month.
Men's History Month.
I don't know. What's that?
Men's History Month, not male. Male history is
okay.
like that shooting that we just saw, a lack of a non-man, and multiple
I see
shootings.
what you mean. All right.
Men's
I
history.
got you. Men's History Month.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Yes.
helping me get it right.
You're welcome.
Because furthermore, I am not sure, not that this matters to me, but just for general interest, are Jewish people white people? I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, it's a different culture from the typical white Anglo-Saxon Protestant.
But here's who I consider to be one of America's greatest immigrant folks, Irving Berlin, the greatest contemporary songwriter of our time, born in Austria, 1888, May 22nd, died in New York City, September 22nd, 1989, 101 years old.
Wow.
He was a Jewish person. His family was Jewish. His brother, sister, mother, and father, he left Austria by boat. There was no other way to do that. We got to tell the young people because they don't think about this.
Yeah.
In 1892,
Wow.
and he was asked in the 1930s after he had written popular songs like the greatest Christmas song of our modern time, White Christmas.
Wow. Was he a Christian?
He was asked about if he remembered anything about being in Austria.
Uh-huh.
He said all he remembers was his house being burned down when they left.
Wow.
Because they had burned their house and they had no choice to either stay or go anywhere else. And they came to the United States. Irving Berlin also was the first person to establish music and entertainment copyright law to protect the artists and the creators of the music in the 1930s. The Great White Hope, just last month, updated these laws to include a lot of new things for internet copyright and digital downloads and things like that. And you almost don't even hear anything about that.
Yeah.
I heard that on the Chris Plant show just for reference to the future. I don't want to tie up your show anymore. You got a lot of callers, but I appreciate you letting me get on.
All right. Appreciate that contribution, Sal. Thank you. Earl out of Michigan. You've been holding a while. Appreciate it, Earl. How are you doing? First time caller on the Hake Report, I guess.
Yeah, how you doing?
Doing
I
fine.
heard you requested that I call on my calling you out on what you said about Skip
Yeah.
the other day.
Right.
And, huh?
I said right because the backstory with Earl and me is when I was talking to Skip 2 Sundays ago, I had said that he was blind because he didn't see a deeper issue that Jesse pointed out, and he was stuck on his facts, right? And so so Skip went from that point to being like, are you saying that everything that I have to agree with Jesse on everything or else I'm blind? And so I just went ahead and said yes, because I was kind of done. If you're going to go to everything has to agree. So I went ahead and said yes. And so for that, Earl called me a lackey because I said that you have to agree with everything Jesse says, otherwise you're blind. Is that right, Earl?
That's part of it.
Okay.
But you didn't tell the whole story, did you?
No, I summed it up.
Yeah, you summed it up.
Right.
But then he asked you, are you kidding?
Mm-hmm.
And what did you say?
Probably said no.
You said, I'm dead serious.
Right.
So that left you no squirming room that you might be kidding and so forth.
It leaves me plenty. No, I have plenty of squirming room. I have plenty of squirming room because hey, Earl, listen to this. If I tell somebody that they're hung up on facts and they're missing the truth, and that Jesse made a deeper point, and he skips over to saying, "So you saying everything I have to agree with Jesse on everything?" Well, namely, I couldn't really think of a thing that a realistic, serious point that Jesse's wrong about. You can find piddly little factual, details that are kind of irrelevant that you may disagree with Jesse about, but nothing serious, no major point. And so I just went ahead and said, yeah, that's right. And that just showed that he was not being honest because he didn't want to think back to what the point was and whether he was right or wrong on it. He just skipped to saying, you mean you have to talk about everything? I have to agree with Jesse on everything? So it was, at that point, I was done having a serious conversation with him.
So to clarify, he wanted to know whether he was serious.
No, he was.
And you said you were dead serious.
Yeah, I was dead serious about him being blind.
You mean you were just kidding?
No, I wasn't really. I wasn't really kidding because I can't really think of. Can you bring something that's Jesse's seriously wrong about? Other than minor little details,
and now you're trying to
such as how to pronounce barriers.
To make yourself seem like you was just kidding.
Huh?
Which is it was the total opposite of what you said. Now just live up to what you said.
I stand by what I said. I just explained what I said and why I said it. Huh? I didn't say I was kidding.
You said you were dead serious.
Yep, I'm dead serious because it's a serious point. When you're that blind, you're hung up on your little stupid facts, and you.
No, I'm just letting you squirm over your own words that you're trying.
No, I'm standing by what I said because you're blind too. You hate Jesse. You hate Jesse for telling the truth about black people. And
there you go, trying to use Jesse's.
Yeah, and then Skip hates Jesse for telling the truth about white people.
Because you just use Jesse's tactic to do everything Jesse said. you invoke his type of
What's funny is it's got to be pretty embarrassing for these whites to see a dumb guy like Earl siding with them.
Well, it got to be kind of funny for a lackey like you, my affirmative action brother. So how does that affirmative action suit fit?
Affirmative action? I don't care. Hey,
can you breathe?
I take my what are they called? I take my opportunities. I was here.
Yeah,
I was here coming to church every day. I agree with what JC's about, and so I became like a faithful volunteer,
well,
and then I became an employee.
Disciple. I know you is lackey. I know you, my affirmative
You
action
can
brother.
name call all you want, but you're a lackey for Satan.
And the thing about it is,
You're a
you talk
lackey for
about
Satan.
did Jesse give you this opportunity?
Yes.
Free stuff.
Yep.
Hey, my affirmative action brother.
Hey,
Take
my
that.
brother in Satan. All right, Earl.
By the way, you also I talk about Eric Garner.
Yeah, Eric Garner. He was overweight. He resisted arrest, and he got himself killed. What a shame.
No, he was fine until the guy put him in the chokehold.
No, he was
That's
not
something you don't
fine.
understand.
He was not fine. His own friends said he could hardly walk a block without having to stop to catch
when
his
you
breath.
saw him, he told the police to leave him alone.
Uh-huh.
He was fine.
And why did he resist arrest?
Well, you can't arrest him for anything. What reason
They
did
can't
arrest him?
arrest him for something.
Can they violate his civil rights?
I don't know about that.
Can they arrest?
Would you
Can they
resist
arrest you
if
for no
police
reason?
wanted to arrest you? Would you resist arrest?
That's the difference. Can the police allow to?
So that
arrest
justifies
you for any
him.
reason?
So that justifies him in your mind resisting arrest.
So you give the
You
police
don't really
carte
care
blanche.
about black people because
No,
you're
that's just your
encouraging
opinion
them.
when you're trying to-
Hey,
you're trying
Earl,
to-
you're encouraging
trying to
them.
deflect.
You're encouraging them to resist arrest.
The problem is,
Hey, Earl.
the problem is
Earl.
you give.
Earl, I'm putting you on hold. You're encouraging people to resist arrest when you make excuses like, oh, they were violating his civil rights. And so blacks are typical, it's very typical amongst blacks to escalate the situation and get themselves killed. But Earl doesn't care about that. Earl, do you care about that?
Of course, I care about.
Then how
people
come you're making excuses for Earl Eric Garner?
You would arrest Donald Trump the same way.
Hey, Earl, how come
Do
you're
you
making?
think you would arrest Donald Trump?
You lame. Let's go to Thomas, first-time caller out of Atlanta, Georgia. Thomas, how are you?
Good. How about yourself?
Fine, thank you, man.
All right, good. Yeah, so I was calling because I think one of the things I heard you say a little earlier was that, or Jesse or you both were having a conversation. You guys said basically that Donald Trump was not, he shouldn't be accused of actually for some of the incidents that are occurring with the shootings and things like that. And one of the things I wanted to point out was that, with this rhetoric, it's kind of dangerous. And I used to be a conservative, and now I'm an independent. But what I noticed was whenever he spread that rhetoric and say those things, and people think he's not telling them to kill them, but it kind of says, okay.
What rhetoric? What rhetoric?
The rhetoric of how, basically how Mexicans are rapists and criminals.
Which is true. True. It's factual.
It's really not actually.
It's true. Are you denying that? Are you saying that no Mexicans have come over here and committed rape?
No.
Then it's true.
No.
Then it's a fact.
Okay. Well, that's fair. Then I can also say that black people are rapists and murderers. And I could also say that white people are rapists and murderers as well.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're going to.
And what's your point? So
my point is this: if with his rhetoric, if he's influencing violence, and then when he says, and then when you guys say, well, it's just him saying it, he's not influencing it. But whenever he was trying to get the wall, and when he was trying to get the wall, and he said, well, if you don't give me the money for the wall, you're the reason why this person and these Mexicans come over and kill somebody. Your death is on them.
Yep.
So it's interesting how
that's true.
If he says that, if he spreads the rhetoric that Mexicans are evil and does all these other things,
but that's factual. That's factual, Thomas.
Yeah, and it's factual for every race, to be, if we're going to be honest.
But why are you trying to act like that's not factual?
I'm not acting like it's factual. What I'm acting like is, and that's not the reason why I'm calling.
Uh-huh.
The reason why I'm calling is if you're pointing out that to certain white supremacists or groups that literally don't like Mexican people, and it's coming from the top. And when you do that, that kind of goes to the bottom. And you get those bottom of the barrel people that feel like that they're doing the greater good for Trump or for people that spreading those rhetoric. So when it comes from the top, they may be thinking they're doing the greater good. And I'm not saying he's going out and telling people to kill people.
So are you just speculating? Are you just making this up? Because not one of these shooters was inspired by Trump.
Well, the shooter that just killed 20 people said Trump was all in Trump's corner.
No, you're not. You're wrong. You're actually quite wrong. He said it. I listened to his whole manifesto. It was read online before that it was taken down, and then it's still available. Drudge has it linked, but he said specifically that his views predate Trump, and he knows that the media is going to try to pin it on Trump, but it has nothing to do with Trump.
Right. He did say that. No, I'm giving you that. But he also said that he was Trump's biggest fan.
He what?
Also said that.
He what?
He was Trump's biggest fan.
No, he wasn't. He never said that.
Okay.
Where'd you get that?
I got it from the news.
What news?
CNN.
Oh gosh. Some conservative you used to be.
Because I can't watch Fox anymore.
Because you're a rhino.
No, it's not.
You were a fake conservative. And now you're pretending to be independent, but you're not independent. You're a liberal.
If I'm a liberal, let me ask you this. I was conservative, and I'm a liberal.
You were not conservative.
Okay.
You were not conservative. You were fake.
Okay, I was fake.
Yeah.
However you want to say it. I'm not here to argue with you.
Yeah.
But if you're a Christian network, correct? And you are a Christian, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, let's go down the line. All right. Trump has been married 3 times.
But no, hold on, Thomas. You just lied about the man. You tried to blame him for you lied on him by blaming him for the shootings. You said that
I didn't blame him for the shooting.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
I distinctly said I don't think he's for the shooting.
Yes, you did. You said it comes from the top down to the bottom of the barrel, and him telling the truth about the Mexicans, that the fact that there are rapists and criminals coming from amongst the Mexicans.
Right.
Motivated this man, which there's no evidence of that, but you just made it up. You tried to make it as though we were being fair by saying, because Trump said, if you don't build the wall, then you guys are responsible for the people that come across because there is no wall and commit crimes, which is a logical statement, but yours is not logical.
How is it not logical that he says
He said that because if somebody comes across because there's no wall, then the Democrats who didn't want the wall and the rhinos are responsible for the fact that the wall didn't go up, and so people crossed and committed crimes.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time agreeing with that, but
obviously you do because you're a liberal.
Okay.
You don't believe in the wall, and you want to take up for Mexicans. You act like they're just as they're less. They commit less crimes than whites. You fall for that false narrative, probably.
I'm taking up for Americans because Americans.
No, you don't take up for Americans. You don't support Trump and the wall.
I'm calling because the Americans just died.
No, you don't care about that. No, that's fake. I don't buy that for a second. You're just pretending to be emotional because you're a liberal.
I'm emotional because I care about this country.
No, that's not caring about the country. That's just emotions. That's just nonsense. That's just blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and again, and going back to, like, you guys, and you can say that, and that's fair. That's your opinion.
No, it's not an opinion because being emotional doesn't mean that you care about the country.
That is exactly what it is. America.
No.
Emotional is saying that, actually.
No, that's not.
I'm calling. Okay. Well, like I said, and the other part about that is the reason why I became, and I was a conservative, the reason why I became a liberal because of Trump, because of all the rhetoric.
Oh, see, so you hate the truth. You're like those rhinos. Oh my gosh, Trump is the most honest person. Who's the most honest, direct, real person, and so you hate real people. So you go to the fake side. You listen to CNN.
If you look at the Fox News polls, if you look at the MSNBC polls, he's told almost 11. Fox News even said he told almost 11,000 lies. And that's a true conservative.
No, that's not okay. Name a lie. I went over this with somebody yesterday. Name one lie, and then I'll let you go.
I can name you one lie.
Name one.
I felt that was terrible, and it doesn't even have to do with politics.
All right, go for it.
His father was not born in the United States.
Oh, you sound just like this other guy. That's That's a terrible lie. What do you know? What do you know or care about where his father was born?
Well, you said name one lie. Name one lie. You want me to name another one?
No, that was a dumb example. No, man.
Pay for the wall.
Huh?
Did Mexico pay for the wall?
They're gonna pay for the wall.
Did they pay for the wall?
They're paying for the wall.
Did they pay? No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
One dime.
Yes, they are paying for the wall.
What about Obamacare? Where's that?
No, you see,
I can't believe we still freaking got Obamacare. I don't want Obamacare, but we got Obamacare.
You're fake, man. I gotta go, man. I gotta go.
I'm sure, because
All right. Adam out of Washington State. Adam, how are you?
Oh man, dude, I've been laughing at my Joe. Oh, dude. Yeah, you've been cracking me up, but I'm all right. How are you, man?
Doing fine, man. Happy Men's History Month to you.
Happy Men's History Month.
Thank you.
Hey, so can you give me 1 minute to read this? And Jesse Lee Peterson will love the first paragraph. It will take less than 1 minute.
All right, what is it from?
It's from the Department of Statistics, or Justice Department Statistics about black on white race violence.
Okay, go for it. I'll give you 30 seconds, man. Hurry up.
All right. These breathtaking disparities began to emerge in the mid-1960s when there was a sharp increase of black crime against whites, and a surge which, not coincidentally, corresponds exactly with the beginning of the modern civil rights movements. Over time, the cumulative effect has been staggering. Justice Department and FBI statistics indicates that between 1964 and 94, more than 25 million violent interracial crimes were committed, overwhelmingly involving black offenders and white victims, and more than 45,000 people were killed in interracial murders. By comparison, 58,000 Americans died in Vietnam and 34,000 were killed in the Korean War.
All right, where did you get this? And what year did it come out?
I printed this in 2003.
And that's
only
under whose administration did this DOJ report come out?
Oh my God! It is literally Justice Department statistics about black on white.
Right, but what you printed it in 2003? Did it come out in 2003 or 2 or 99, or did it come out under Clinton or W?
Okay, this was okay. I got it. It's from the Sydney Moral Herald, Australia, 20 May 1995, by Paul Sheehan.
Oh, 19. Okay, and that's from the DOJ?
Yep.
Okay, send it over to us.
Yeah. Can I read the
But I mean,
paragraph?
I can't. But
All right.
no, it's. I mean, we've known about this, and people, even blacks, have admitted to this, that they've attacked whites even around that time, and it's been going on a long time, and it's gotten kind of worse because the ongoing false narrative is white on black, so-called racism, and it just encourages it. And because it's a lie, it's encouraging it. All right, Adam. Appreciate that, man.
Thanks, man.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye. Skip, out of Augusta, Georgia. How are you doing, Skip?
Hey, James. How you doing, man?
Fine. How are you?
Oh, I'm everything's good. All's well. All's well. Look at here. I'm kind of confused about something.
All right.
You was telling Earl that he hated Jesse, and then you referred to me as hating Jesse about what he says about the white folks.
Right.
How can you give me an example?
Well, Jesse tells people not to hate Jews, right? He tells whites to stop hating Jews. And I see a lot of action going on, and I feel like I've seen you do it.
You've never seen me say anything about hating the Jews.
No, hey, I didn't talk about hating Jews. I said hating Jesse for telling whites to stop hating Jews. Because every time Jesse tells you guys not to hate Jews, you guys are like, who said anything about hate? Acting all innocent, right? But he sees something in you guys that isn't genuine, and it's reality. And then I just see you constantly just denigrating Jesse. So that's why I say that.
That's not reality. That's a crystal ball, James.
No, I see you denigrating Jesse in the chat, man, all the time. And me too, but
when Jesse's wrong, I'm gonna call him out.
That's what they all say, man. That's what the liberals say about Trump.
Okay,
he's just wrong. I'm just calling him out. But how do you know that you're right?
You want an example of him being wrong?
Okay, give me one example.
Okay, Jesse says that Jesus was created, that he's a created being. Where in the world does he get that from, James?
From the Bible. He was the firstborn over all.
The Bible. Nowhere in the Bible does it say he was created.
The firstborn over all creation.
He was not a created being.
He's the firstborn over all creation.
The firstborn.
See, this is kind of like that guy that was calling Trump a liar because of something he supposedly said about his dad that may or may not have been true. Who knows? And so you're talking about stuff that's not even like a main point. It's like a side note type of thing.
Okay.
You notice that?
Look here, you're putting words in my mouth, James, and I don't.
No, I didn't. I didn't put any words in your mouth. I just described it as hate.
That's being a snake in the grass, if you want my opinion on it.
Yeah, you would have that opinion.
See that? Because you disagree. Can't we disagree with people without having hate in our heart? Do we have to hate someone because we disagree with them?
No, you don't have to, but you do.
How do you know I do, James?
Because you lie about you. I see you lying about Jesse, man.
You see me lying about Jesse? Did you ever see me agree? Did you ever see me agreeing with Jesse on there?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yep.
You do. Okay.
Yeah. You're nice.
I do.
You're nice. There's a lot of nice guys there, but we need perfection. Don't you agree that Christians should aim for perfection?
All of us should. You're right,
yeah.
James.
So that's all.
Well, look here. I don't hate Jesse.
You say that, but I would encourage you to. Do you do the silent prayer?
I don't know. I lay in the bed every night, and I don't hoop and holler laying in the bed, and I pray silently.
All right.
But I don't know. I don't understand what y'all.
Well,
mean by
just check yourself, because I might say I'm wrong about you, but you should check yourself.
Well, you are, James. I don't have hate for anybody in my heart.
All right.
I don't hate the Jews.
All right.
I don't make. I just like to play around. I don't hate nobody.
All right.
I hear more hate.
Are you a genuine person?
Yes, I'm a genuine person.
Are you ever too nice?
No, that's one thing I'm not, is too nice.
All right. Are you ever fake nice?
Nope, I'm not fake nice.
Never?
No.
All right.
I don't have. Look here.
Yeah.
I am who I am, and if you don't like who I am, then we just can't be friends. But I'm not going to go along with someone just to be going along with somebody for the sake of being friends.
But do you have to make up stuff?
No, I don't make up nothing. What have I made up? Can you give me an example of what I've made up?
I can't really think right now, but I've seen you make up stuff like, oh, Jesse is. Well, okay. Here's one thing that you made up. You said when I called you a snake, you said that Jesse was mad at me and hung up on me. Jesse wasn't mad at you when he hung up on you. And I corrected it, and I said, because you missed the point, you were hung up on your facts, right? And you had missed the truth. You'd missed the deeper point. So you lied and said he was mad, and then you speculate that he's mad when you don't know the guy's heart.
Well, okay, like you don't know my heart, James.
Right.
Look at here.
But I'm telling you, I didn't go behind your back and say Skip is a hater and he's mad and he's blah blah blah. You went behind Jesse's back and said, "Oh, Jesse's mad," and you constantly doing that in chat, and we're not in there to correct the record. So you're in there spreading rumors about Jesse that's not true. Isn't that a snake in the grass type of a thing to do?
What rumor?
You don't think that's a snake in the grass type of thing to do?
What rumor did I spread?
That he was angry, and I don't know. You're constantly doing that stuff.
Oh, give me an example.
Well, okay, I gave you one about you making up that he was angry at you. And then you
Look,
talk about you talk about you talked about my Jewish handlers.
Oh, I can't. I can't say that about
You
them.
speculate. Yeah, I know, but you
about that.
speculate. Hey, I know you're taking that 7-day thing of not talking
Yeah,
about the
you
Jews
ain't
so
gonna
called.
trick me,
But
James.
you made up that thing about me too. Isn't that a snake in the grass type of thing to do?
What did I make up about you?
You said, "Oh, James is listening to his Jewish handlers," something like that. You're just totally making stuff up. A snake in the grass.
Did you notice that there was a smiley face behind it, like it's in a joking way?
The smiling face, yeah, it doesn't matter. People take that stuff seriously.
Look at next week. We'll talk about them people, but I'm not going to do it this week. But I didn't mean anything in no kind of bad way towards y'all.
You're constantly being a snake in the grass in the chat.
We
So it's a
joke
fact.
and laugh on chat all the time. 90%
All right.
of the stuff we talk about on chat ain't nothing but just joking
All right.
and cutting up.
All right.
Okay, look.
Take care, Skip.
I don't hate Jesse, and I definitely don't hate you or Jesse or Joel or Nick
All right, man.
or anybody.
Okay. I appreciate
But
that.
don't put words in my mouth, okay?
No, I'm just assigning what it seems to me. All right?
Well, that's your opinion. That's not a fact. And
Okay.
that's not true.
All right.
Okay.
Take care,
Bye.
Skip. Nice to hear from you. Preston out of Alabama. First time caller. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Fine. Happy Men's History Month.
Yeah, you too, man.
Thank you.
So yeah, I just wanted to ask you what you thought about Tulsi Gabbard. Like, you think she's hot? Like, just physically, not talking about her, like, personal attributes.
She's
and
pretty.
Stuff like that, her
Yeah, she's
personality.
pretty. I thought you
Just
were gonna ask about her policies or something like that.
I mean, yeah, we can get into that too, but I just wanted to ask you that first question.
No, she's pretty, but she's like Hawaiian and not my type, and I think she's too old for me.
Yeah, and she's married as well, so.
Okay.
But anyways, yeah, I mean, you're a political guy, so I'm sure you watched the Democratic debates, like the last one.
I didn't watch it, but I know a little bit about what happened. And
You didn't watch it? Come on, man.
No, I'm not into
but
that.
anyways, you're supposed to be on top of this stuff, Jake.
I know.
Or fucking James, my bad.
What's your language?
Dude, she crushed Kamala, though. She crushed Kamala Harris.
That's good, but do you think that Kamala is going to win?
No.
The nomination?
No, Kamala doesn't have a chance in hell of winning this thing.
Really?
Honestly, dude, Beto's too weak. He's
Right.
too weak. And Tulsi, I mean, she's got good policies and everything, but I don't know, man. She's a woman. I just don't know if a woman can actually run this country.
Yeah, and on top of that, she's a Democrat. I mean, she supports wrong stuff. She supports some things that are probably right, maybe. I mean, I like her sense of independence when, they were scaremongering about the Syria war, and she was like, "Nah, I don't think we need to be going to war with Syria." I kind of like that sense of independence. And then I liked how she went after Kamala, saying that she doesn't have the, what is it called, the personality. Only she said something else, but for handling the pressures and the leadership to handle the foreign policy demands of the presidency, she doesn't have that. And I like how she said that about Kamala, but I don't think that she's really qualified either. Are you a Trump supporter?
Well said. Oh, yeah. Well, honestly, dude, the new Trump, when I say the new Trump, the new left pandering Trump, right, he's not really on the right anymore. And there's not really many true conservatives out there. So it's,
Why do you say that?
Dude.
Why do you say that he's not on the right anymore?
Just the statements that he's recently made about, the white supremacist thing. I mean, it's true if you actually read the manifesto and everything that the guy, wrote up or typed up or whatever. It just, I don't know, man. It kind of just put a bad taste in my mouth. He's not, he's pandering to the left, but that's what he's got to do in order to keep his job. I mean, at this point, it's ridiculous, man. Like, we don't even have a conservative party anymore. Even Fox, like, we thought Fox is the holy grail of just conservative, of conservative minds, but that's just, those things are gone.
You know who else I saw was for these red flag laws, other than like Mitch McConnell, and I think Mitch McConnell, but that guy with the patch, what's his, Crenshaw, Dan Crenshaw? Yeah, Lieutenant Crenshaw. He was for these red flag laws, which is insane. And I'm still with Trump because just last week, he was standing by his true statements on love for the country, as opposed to what these, people like, who's that black guy from Baltimore, Maryland, Elijah Cummings. He stood up to Elijah Cummings, and those are the huge things that I really support him about. On a cultural level, he is standing up to the fake race thing like nobody else. And yes, I agree. I wish that he didn't use some of that language about white supremacy, but that's what the common vernacular is. He is a boomer. He is a New York liberal, and yet he's come so far. So I say Trump is still who he is. He's just reading somebody else's speech, and unfortunately, he did that. Whatever, cut him some slack is what I say. Because keep on watching. He may
definitely agree.
He may come around to
it's annoying,
with
but
this.
It's whatever, man. It's just what we got to deal with at this point, you know.
It may, if he enacts that law, that's going to be some serious trouble down the road. But keep watch. Maybe it won't be what we're thinking. You know, these are just words at this point. This is not actions. His actions so far have been pretty right on.
Oh, yeah, and one more question really quick, really quick, because I know you're probably running out of time, but so do you think Google, the most powerful country in the world, do you think they have the power to hack the election in 2020?
Oh, you mean like mess with the ballots? They can mess with people's minds, and that's what the media does, and they're part of the media. They mess with people's minds. They advocate for brainwashing. They stifle our output as much as they can. But so in that sense, they can be manipulative. But a good man and good men can overcome that. So if you become an overcomer, that'll be powerful in the people around you, and you'll influence for people for the good. You'll just kind of awaken people. And that's what Trump does oftentimes. Over time, he's done that. That's what Jesse's done. You hear people calling into Jesse's show all the time, waking up, changing not just their lives with their family, their fathers, whatever, also their mindset. And that can overcome any. Yes, it is just a few, but that multiplies and it's powerful. It's more important. That's more important, really, than any election.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would definitely agree. It's all about the spirit, man. You got to change your spirit in order to change your heart and to change, the people around you. But really, man, everybody's just kind of got to focus on themselves individually and not try to worry about what other people are doing and what other people think about them. That's not important,
Right.
We live in a very materialistic and of the flesh society.
Yeah.
So
I appreciate it, Preston. Happy Men's History Month once again to you.
Happy Men's History Month, man. Have a good one.
All right. Hear from you again. Take care.
All right. Bye.
Michael out of Utah. Michael, how are you doing? First-time caller.
Oh, yeah, I am a first-time caller. I'm kind of young, so
okay.
My words might not be the best conversationist.
You're fine.
I got a couple of questions for you. I've seen you on Jesse's show.
Yeah.
And a few times. And I'm watching you right now on a different device, but there's a time lapse. So I'm just curious, the shootings that took place over the weekend.
Yes.
Or over the weekend, my father is an avid gun enthusiast.
Okay.
And anyway, he says it doesn't make a difference about these magazines, and if these things don't make a difference. And to Second Amendment people like him, and I'm not saying I'm not, I just don't believe in large magazines. I just want to know what your take was on that thing.
You're talking about the magazine capacity?
Real quick, James.
Say that again?
Who do you think the Democratic nominee will be? I know it's real early.
Well, I've always kind of been leaning towards thinking it was going to be Kamala Harris, a black woman. Who knows? I just don't see anybody with the strength of personality, that fake strength that a lot of liberal politicians have as winning. I don't see it being Biden. I would be surprised. Maybe it will, but I don't just
You
don't
don't
see
think
it.
it would be? I'm thinking Biden with Kamala Harris is, and I'm independent.
That'd be interesting.
But I would vote Republican. This would be the first time I would be able to vote enough.
Okay.
And for the presidential nomination or presidential vote. And I would say that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden would be a harsh ticket. But the reason I mentioned the gun laws with the nomination, the presidential race, is that if this happens, like in the worst case scenario, I mean, it's horrible that people get killed in these situations. And
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into the gun laws and all that stuff. I asked you about the magazines, but what I'm saying is, can you imagine this happening? Let's fast forward 1 year. Can you imagine this happening like 2 or 3 weeks? The October surprise of mass killing.
Oh, like you're speculating that something like that.
It would be fresh in their mind. What do
You're
you think about
so
that?
you're speculating that something like this may happen like before an election to try to sway it, or that could sway an election. I don't know. You never know what's going to happen in the future, man. I don't like to worry or think or speculate what may happen in the future. And as far as the magazines, to answer your question, I think if I understand your father right, I agree with him that we should not have restrictions on these magazines. People should arm up, even going to Walmart, to be honest, because you never know what's going to be happening. But unfortunately, we have a culture that frowns upon law-abiding people carrying guns, and so only the criminals do, and they hide it, or they take advantage of soft targets. This guy specifically targeted a soft target, and he encouraged other terrorists to do the same thing. This supposedly white guy that shot up, according to his manifesto. If it is his manifesto, it sounded like it is.
Hey, James.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I wanted to put this out there real quick.
Okay.
I asked my dad yesterday on the phone because I live in Utah and I'm from back east and I go to school here.
All right.
My father, he told me, I asked him, I said, Dad, do you remember when there used to be serial killers in the 90s and you would hear about all the time?
Yeah, and earlier.
Look at the history in the 70s, 80s, 90s. Serial killers like crazy on the news.
Yeah.
They would come out of the woodworks, if you will. And now it's mass shootings, but you don't hardly ever hear of serial killers anymore. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Weird,
And that stuff may still be going on. I've heard of there may be a serial killer effect targeting transgenders.
Same thing. He said they're probably just not covering it.
Yeah,
because they have an agenda.
Right. Yeah, they definitely hide the facts about illegal alien crime. They hide the facts about black crime. Unfortunately, it just shows a lack of respect or love for blacks and Hispanics and everybody. It shows their lack of respect for America. They really don't care about the truth or what causes it. They want to go after the gun it's the spirit.
It's the. I think that you need to do a deep mental health evaluation before they give somebody a gun.
Maybe, but my problem is I don't trust these mental health so-called professionals. Who are you going to trust? Who are you going to trust to deem? Because they're going to say, "Oh, all veterans have PTSD, therefore we can't give them guns."
Yeah,
I'm not for that. That's our militia.
Also,
we need them to be armed.
For example, he goes to his primary care doctor, and I know you have other people. I just want to shoot this out. He goes to his primary care doctor, like many Americans do, and he gets an antidepressant. And what would happen if they did a background check on that?
Exactly.
And he gets some. Is that going to keep him from getting? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I totally see what you're saying. Michael, I gotta go. Call me again, man. Take care.
All right, man. You too. I enjoyed the show.
Yeah.
I'll see you on Jesse's show sometimes.
Right on, man. Good luck in college, too. Maze and the rest, I'm sorry I cannot get to you, but I will be back tomorrow, and so will Jesse. Make sure that you're signing up for, go to jesseleepeterson.com for the Men's History Month Free Speech Forum this Thursday, guys and gals. All right, take care.